Guys, it is a 4 days after Christmas miracle. BB has returned to us. Apparently it took, I don't know, some sort of ritual summoning of some sort. Seemed to be some blood stains or something on the ground, but it's good to have you back, my friend. It's good to have you back. Hey everyone, we're on top of Castletop Inn now, where MCX, you can see him in the background, is busy making banners. He's been making banners for a while now for all of the different districts in the city. You can see those back there with his cat. I think her name is Pretty. She's very cute. So far there are 14 variations of this banner for Centerfall. So yeah, we keep trying. It's a pretty nutty process. I'll be honest, I don't think I ever could have guessed when I started playing this game that this city would end up this magnificent. You know, I suspected it would look nice, but not this level. This is just, I don't know. It's a little beyond words, I think. You know, in my mind I always imagined that this city would be sort of a fun pet project. I'd build a few buildings, you know. Maybe I'd show it to my friends, family, and things like that. But the support all over the internet has been pretty overwhelming, to be honest. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's compared to a lot of big channels and big groups, build groups and things, you know, it's minor. But for me, it's the amount of support and people who have been, you know, liked what we've been building and everything. It's just been, it's beyond anything I ever imagined. It continues every day to amaze me. There's a panda in the river. Can pandas swim? I guess so. He's in the water. Not dead. Alright. Alright then. You do you, panda. I'm worried a little bit about the panda, but I think he'll be alright. It is honestly just amazing to see everything come together. See the city come to life, to see these buildings grow. Can't thank everyone enough for all their help building all this. I couldn't have done it alone. Just look at all of this. This is really, really cool. And it's only gonna get cooler from here. Only gonna get cooler from here. Alright, it's been a couple days, and I think it's time that we got back to work and got a little bit more of this finished. So I think one of the things I definitely wanted to do was cap off these sea lanterns. Not a big fan of the face of the sea lanterns. I think I want to cover it up with a trapdoor or something. Given the color of this area, I was thinking maybe that these jungle wood trapdoors would look nice. I think they let a bit of light through. I think it'll look good. Let's see if we can slap a few of these on here. I think I also want to cover this face, just because it's exposed. Yeah, I'll get back to you when I'm done putting all of these in. We'll see what it looks like. And I think we are done. That should be all of them, unless I'm terribly mistaken, but pretty sure I got all the sea lanterns covered. Next, I want to do a little bit of this. Not sure about the stone bricks, maybe polished andesite. I think that might look a little bit better with the basalt columns, but I want to curve the inside of this just a little bit. Also, I'm terribly sorry about how awful my hotbar is. I don't really organize it very well. It's often just whatever I have on hand, whatever I happen to be using, and a bunch of assorted junk, so sorry about that. I find sometimes with builds like this, the geometry of it, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to figure out exactly where all of these are supposed to go. But I think just going in one direction and just doing one little detail at a time and doing all of it is really a good way to not confuse yourself. If I had tried to do all the trapdoors at the same time that I'm trying to do these little arches, I would most certainly get lost with what I was doing, and there'd be some that I'd forget to do. Even as it is, see, there's a few that I've forgotten. But I think in general, kind of keeps things a little bit more organized and easy to follow. Let's talk railings. Obviously, we need some sort of railing system, because if there's an open space like this that's above the ground, inevitably someone's going to fall off and crack their heads open, and I haven't built a hospital yet, so that's something we need to work on. No, but seriously, I think railings are going to look really nice here. The question is, how do we want to do them? My first instinct is to use fences, but I'm actually thinking that we might try something a little bit fancier, maybe with anvils. I've had a lot of success recently building these with anvils, with like dark oak or something on top of them. So usually the way I do this is I place a bunch of these blocks down. These are like a filler block, so we're going to use this brown concrete because that's what I have on hand. And then we're going to place trapdoors on top of all of these. Didn't mean to open that one. Trapdoors. Also, I'm sure many people have said this before, but these dark oak trapdoors, they look an awful lot like chocolate bars. Maybe that's just the fat kid in me, but I can't get over it. I can't unsee it, I'll be honest. Anyway, we're gonna remove these blocks and replace them with anvils, and that's a good way to get, anvils underneath these trapdoors. Unfortunately, if you try to place trapdoors directly on top of anvils, you get the anvil dialogue of, do you want to anvil something? Which is, here, I'll show you. So we put an anvil, try to put trapdoor. It just tries to make us repair the trapdoor, which doesn't make any sense. What I'd like to do now is a little bit of terraforming inside here. Just a little bit of work with some stone and some dirt, just to make this less of a green blob. So I think we start by swapping out these for some path blocks, just so we can see where the paths are going to be. Let's see, total, there are 5 paths that are sort of evenly spaced around here. I think that's good. Now what I'd like to do is do a little bit of sculpting. Try and get a little bit of a stone border around here. I think a little stone here is really going to spruce this area up, make it look nice. I think that's mixed up a little bit, looks nice. A little bit of mossy cobble. I want to use this very sparingly. It's because we have so much stone already. I really just want to mix it up so that this doesn't look so uniform with the grass. I really think that too much grass is a problem that you run into a lot with builds like this. It feels very natural to start out just building all this stuff with, with grass and just kind of filling in these areas because it looks green and it looks nice. But I think that too much can be just as much of a problem as not enough. Let's go in and fill in our path blocks. We don't want to fill it in completely. In fact, I'm actually going to grab some grass blocks and fill some of this back in with grass as we go. But we want to give it a pretty good approximation of a path. Yeah, that's a vague approximation of where people would walk. Now we're going to go in with the coarse dirt. We're going to change out some of these path blocks. Don't want to go overboard with this. Coarse dirt, all kinds of dirt, are really very strong blocks. They can easily overpower. Same with podzol. But I do want to add just a little bit, just a touch. Yeah, we've got a good thing going on. I'm going to go through with some slabs now, using these blocks to add a little bit of texture, to add a little bit of interest, to break up this sudden block change, right? This height change of an entire block feels like a little bit much. Maybe a couple of little slabs here. I could see this being sort of a place where you walk up to the water's edge. And I kind of like that. I think it feels nice. And definitely we want to stick some slabs in here. Yeah, I think that feels good. Luckily we can waterlog these so they won't look too out of place. Trying to mix it up a little bit. That's a little too regular. I think I'm going to get rid of that and put one over here. That way this outline is a little bit more broken up. One of the cool things you can do with these walls, we can put these right here. And what will happen is when it gets waterlogged, only the very top of this fence post will poke up out of the water. And it looks kind of like you've got a partially submerged rock. It's a neat effect. One that I really like. So I try to do that at least a little bit. Again, you want to do this a little bit sparingly. Too much will make things look weird. Too little, well, things won't look weird enough, I guess. Want to break up these hard edges as much as possible. Make things seem at least a little bit natural. Have a little bit of a gradient where things come together. I know I'm using a lot of stone. We're going to go through and replace a little bit of this with andesite. Here, I think I might actually use regular cobblestone. Move that. And I think I'm actually... oh no. I'm going to have to debug stick these. Maybe I'll just do like that. When the water flows over this, it'll look like there are 3 little rocks poking up out of the water. Kind of like stepping stones. I think that might be kind of a neat effect. Now, whenever there's sand involved, I like to mix the sand with a little bit of smooth sandstone. They've got very slightly different textures. Sometimes it's even nice to actually put some birch logs. It's got about the same color. You don't really notice that it's not sand if you mix a little bit of it in with everything. You can put these smooth sandstone slabs that are kind of like, they're the equivalent of like sand slabs, I guess. I think that's pretty good. Once we have water on top of it, it'll look, I think, really nice. I hope it'll look really nice. We'll have to see. Alright. I think we are ready to start building trees. This is my tree building palette. I build most of my trees about the same way. Eventually I'll learn to build them a better way or a different way. But for now, this is what I use. I have logs. I have stairs that I want to try and match the color of the stairs to the color of the bark of the log, not the center. I have fences, the same color as the stairs. And then I just grab a variety of these leaves. I like to mix the leaves together because I think that it gives a nice texture. We're going to be placing these wherever I have these little smooth stones placed. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to replace this. And I want to bring the trunk up, but I don't want to bring it too far up in a straight line. Because if you have trees where the trunk goes just straight up like this, that looks a little bit odd. Some trees do grow that way, straight up. But I like to make my trees a little bit curved with a little bit of expression to them. So we're going to bring that up maybe 3 blocks. And then I'm going to move sideways. And I want to get this tree so that it hangs over. I think I might bring that up another block. I'd like it to hang over this path a little bit. You usually want to build a few branches. I think just one branch feels a little bit strange. I think I'm going to add another branch. I'm going to continue this out a little bit. And actually, given the space constraints, I think I'm just going to stop it there. And I think that might be it for the tree for right now. This is the trunk. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take our stairs. And these areas where it abruptly jumps up a block, where you have that hard square line, I like to get rid of these and replace a lot of them with stairs. So that we have a little bit more of a, you can see there's a little bit more of a curvature to it. Also, with the stairs, we can establish root systems. So the bottom of our tree just sort of dead ends directly into the grass. I don't particularly like the way that looks, because if you've ever looked at a real tree, most of them actually get wider at the base, so that they have a strong support system of roots. Some of them actually get quite large at the base, and I want to recreate that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use stairs and fences in order to create something that looks a bit like a branching root system. I think this is good for now. We can mess with it later, add, subtract, whatever. But I think for now this is okay. Now to do the leaf part of the tree and the branches. So this is still sort of the body, but what I like to do is from these ends, I'm going to bring out fences just a little bit. Maybe 1-2 blocks at the most. And I'm going to branch them. So I'm going to have that come out a little bit. And I think I'm going to have that come out a little bit. And this is where we're going to attach the leaves. It gives us a solid anchor point. Here I'm just going to bring it out 1, and I'm going to bring that sideways just to fill in this space. I think that's enough for now. I want this tree to be fairly simple. We're going to take our leaves, and we're just going to put them around these branches we've constructed. I want to try, if possible, to mix the leaves up and not have too many of the same kind of leaves right next to each other. We've got this little ring, and you can see it almost completely encloses our branches. And that's good, because from the side, you won't be able to see the branches. But if you go under the tree, you can see the branches, and you can see the structure of that. And that's often the way that trees sort of grow. At least some trees. The trees that I tend to build grow this way, where the underside of your branches doesn't need leaves because they don't get sunlight. You really only want leaves in places where they're going to get sunlight, which is on the tops of the branches. And so to fill that out, we're going to grab some more leaves, and we're just going to put blocks on top of here to cover this all up. You can see that the top of the tree now feels pretty full. Even though we've only had 2 clusters of leaves, they've kind of blended together to create a full treetop. And that's how I go about making trees. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to tear the whole tree down and build it again. But I think that, in general, it's a good starting place. And if you've never built a custom tree before, it's a lot of fun. You can make some really interesting designs. You can make them as big or as small as you want. And I think, with a little bit of practice, they come out pretty nice. And they, in my opinion, they look a lot better than the default trees. Alright, as you can see, I've completed 2 more trees. I've also dotted a few of these leaf blocks around. They make nice bushes on their own. Alright, I think the terraforming is complete. We've got some water, I've added a few more flowers and things, and a bit of lily pads and things like that. But I think it's looking really nice. Well, you know me. If there's one thing that I love, it's looking at the things that I built with shaders on, and oh, this one's a doozy. You can see the tops of these walls stick up. It looks like stepping stones. I really like it. Looks like a place that I'd legitimately like to spend some time in real life. I think this terraforming project was a success. Look at how beautiful this is. Look at how green it is. Look at all the flowers and the water. I think this is a nice place, and I think it came out really great.
And that's it for today. Before I go, I want to talk to you a little bit about what the plan is for 2021, and to keep your attention, here's some sparkly fireworks. Where 2020 has been a year of beginnings and growth for this project, despite being a flaming bucket of garbage for the world in general, I hope that 2021 will be even better. The city grows larger every day thanks to all the wonderful people I've met in the last year, and though there's still much to be done, we're making excellent progress. And that's what I want for this series, a place for everyone to watch this city grow as I have, day by day, block by block, build by build. So if you like what you've seen, or seen things you liked, drop a like, leave a comment, and come and join the crew by booping that old subscribe button. Shameless plug aside, I do hope you'll join me next time. See ya!